Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ajit Kaur. I am originally from New York City. I was raised in a Sikh Punjabi household. I live in California. I have two daughters and they're in kindergarten and second grade. And today I want to talk to you about something that many may find sensitive, about our children and their bodies. I'm not an expert at this topic. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a mom who has two daughters trying to learn as much as I can about this topic so I can raise strong girls. I encourage you to do your own research and learn why this is important. So this is a topic that can make many people uncomfortable. I want to let you know it's not comfortable for me either. In fact, when I was a new mom and I was trying to understand what when I was trying to understand how I wanted to raise my girls and I was seeking out resources, I constantly had to look outside the community. I had to look at friends and colleagues who had a different way of looking at parenting than our community did, because topics that had to do with our body were often not topics that were comfortable for people to discuss. So I want to let you know I'm not comfortable, but our children's knowledge, acceptance, permission, and ownership of their bodies is very critical. So let me begin. Today I'm going to focus on girls from birth to 8 years old because it's the only experience that I personally have, and using the proper words for their bodies and their body parts. Forgive me, I do have some notes because I don't want to forget anything. When I consider how I use the words, I usually have an imaginary scenario when I'm talking about body parts. I think about if my kid hurt her eye and she runs to me and she's like, I hurt my eye. And all of a sudden everybody's like, okay, what's wrong with your eye? Let's clean out your eye. We check in on the eye later. We maybe tell a teacher, we tell a friend if we're on a play date, oh, they hurt their eye. Now imagine they hurt their vagina. Yes, I used the word. Would you treat it the same way? The likely answer for many of us would be no. Maybe dad would not be the one who handles the wound. Maybe we would whisper it instead of saying it out loud and clearly, and maybe we would quietly ask them about it. This approach, how we differently approach their certain body parts, is what we need to be aware of in order to help our girls develop a strong sense of their own bodies. It's really, it's a building block for the future. It's a building block to taking care of your bodies. It's a building block of being comfortable in your own skin. It's a building block of not letting anybody violate your body. So children should be taught the proper names for their body parts from birth, in my opinion. From when I did a diaper change, saying, I'm going to change your diaper and I'm going to clean your vagina. This would be the same tone as letting them know that we're going to wipe their nose when it's runny. Many of you may be thinking, I never ask my child when I'm changing their diaper or wiping their nose. Well, this brings me to my first point. It bears repeating. Children from birth should have ownership of their own bodies. If we set the standard that it's okay for anyone to touch their body without permission, we're letting them know that it's okay for them not to be in charge of their own bodies. Diapering, potty time, bath time are great opportunities to practice using the correct anatomical terms without shame. Why do I bring up shame? I know growing up when kids would run around naked, parents would say, oh no, shame, shame. They would use terms like pee-pee or wee-wee for genitals, and they would always say it in a lower voice and hurry kids to quickly put on clothes. When we're doing this, we're telling them that their private parts are something to be ashamed of. When kids are ashamed of their bodies and someone violates their body, they're a lot less likely to let you know. Now think about that. You know, if we're constantly kind of running around and we're covering it up and we're acting like it's a taboo subject, if something was to happen, they may not come to us. They may not feel comfortable because it's that topic and that place that we haven't encouraged open dialogue about. We want homes where our children can come to their trusted adults and let them know if something's not okay. Even if it's something that's not okay, like it feels funny or something's wrong with it, we want them to be able to come to us and talk to us. One way to help this along as they get into the toddler years is to use picture books and let them identify their body parts from their head to their toes to their vaginas. It is also a good opportunity to talk to kids about the kinds of touching that's okay and that's not okay. That brings me back to the idea of permission. As kids get older, you're tempted to tickle them. What if the child says, no, stop, 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 it tickles, it hurts, and we don't listen? We tell them, oh, I love you, it's okay, we're having fun. Aren't we telling them then that if someone loves you, it's okay to touch their bodies, even if they're saying no and it's not comfortable? Use these as opportunities to tell them, oh, I heard you say no, and it's never okay for anyone, not mom, not dad, not grandparents, cousins, friends, or anyone else to touch you without your permission. And it will come when it comes to your vagina, your breasts, your butt, it's never okay for anyone to touch these body parts without an adult you trust present, like at a doctor's office with mom and dad. This type of communication will make your child create the habit of being in charge of their body and addressing anything out of the ordinary, and most importantly, letting you know. In my personal experience, having these conversations with my daughters as part of raising them, playing with them, changing them, feeding them, has not taken away from the fun, lightness, brightness of their childhood. It makes them strong cores. And the one thing I also want to encourage everybody to do is have these conversations with the people that are around your kids, whether it's dadi or nani or dada or masi or bua. They might not be comfortable at first, and everybody will feel awkward if, the child runs around and says, mommy, my vagina hurts. But at the end of the day, I personally would much rather have them say that to me than in 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, or ever, have them not tell somebody that it's not okay to touch them in a certain way that doesn't make them comfortable. So again, let's use the real body parts if we can. Let's make sure our kids know them. Let's not make them secret or taboo, and let's have ownership of their bodies and be the ones who give them permission. I'm glad to share my experiences. Again, this is uncomfortable for me too, but I hope that kind of my experience of breaking out of my norms and what I was raised with and the community that I'm around will help others. And I want to say a sincere thank you to the Sikh Family Center for asking parents what they're doing to enhance their children's safety. Thank you again, and Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.